Hello viewers, this is Mithul here. In this module, I am going to cover Introduction to the SQL Server. Let's get started with the definition of the SQL Server. What is SQL Server? It's basically a relational database management system. And we can say like it's an application and tools connect to SQL Server instance or database and communicate using the Transact SQL. So Transact SQL is the language which is being used to interact with this SQL Server. Okay, there are a couple of services or the engines which is being used that we will see now. There are deployment options which are available like Linux or say like Windows that we do the deployment on, Azure virtual machines that we do, or other virtual machine platforms that we do the deployment to. Then couple of SQL Server database engine related product and services. So Azure SQL databases, then SQL managed instance, analytics platform system, Synapse Analytics, and then SQL Edge. All of this like additions and supported features of the SQL Server mainly versions. SQL Server components and the technologies, like the kind of components which are being used right underneath the SQL Server. So like first of all, the database engine is being used. It's a core service mainly. You can say like a storing, processing, and securing the data. So whatever T-SQL statements that you would be writing, that would be processed using this database engine and executed, and the output would be written back to the console side. The next one component is the machine learning services, which is like a SQL Server machine learning services. It is mainly used by the Python and the R languages into the enterprise workflow. Okay. Then the third one is integration services. SQL Server integration services, is basically used for the high performance and the data integration solutions, including the packages that like extract, transform, and load processing for the data warehousing projects that we would be covering later part. So like analysis services, which is like an analytical data platform, and the tool sets which are used for that is this is the tool, the analysis services itself is the tool to use to create the OLAP, like the online analytical process related cubes that we can create out of it, and then do the processing of it and generate the reports basically, consuming that. So yeah, then the next one is the reporting services. So SQL Server reporting services delivers the enterprise web enabled reporting functionality. Then the replication. Replication is like a set of technologies for copying and distributing data and database objects from one database to the another. So, and then synchronizing between databases to maintain consistency. So you can distribute this data to distribute the location and to remote and mobile users and with local and wide area networks. Okay. Then data quality services, which is like provides you with a knowledge driven data cleansing solution. It is used mainly for the knowledge base to perform the data correction, deduplication on your data using both computer assisted and the interactive means. You can use cloud based reference data services as well, and build a data management solution to integrate DQS with SSIS services and master data services. Now the DQS knowledge base that you would be creating would be consumed by the master data services. In terms of master data services is, it's a SQL Server solution for master data management. It is built on the services to help ensure that reporting services are based on the right information. Using master data services, you create the central repository, like a golden copy of the data that you can create, and then maintain and audit and secure the record centrally, and update or change it over the time that you make the changes to it. Then couple of fundamental concepts overall in the SQL Server or in the Azure SQL that are there in the different areas, which are like data files and the transaction log, data file, database compatibility labels, tables and views, functions, store procedures, index, uh, like configure the cost threshold and for the parallelism, and then memory management, checkpoints, startup and crash recovery, backup restore, then manage SQL Server services, database console commands, like system console commands, high availability, and then disaster recovery in case of like the system gets failed, then disaster recovery systems going to be useful in the business continuity purpose. So then query processing and the performance tuning. So query performance and performance tuning would be the other fundamental concept of that. Then couple of Azure integration is being used, then Azure virtual machines, Azure Arc, Kubernetes services, all of these consume SQL Server. Migrate and move the data, like migrating to the cloud or migrating to the SQL Server. Everywhere like SQL Server is being used. So that's like a robust tool or the technology or the database management system that you say is being used many places. Uh, Let us get back to the slides. Yeah, so what we were talking about, the definition and the couple of fundamental concepts and a couple of components of the SQL Server. Now we need to know how many, like what are the usages of the SQL Server, right? Where and how it will be used. So basically, we use SQL Server for the data modeling purpose. Sometimes, like you don't have the model created, so you need to create the model, then modify that model. If you need to, there is a model which is existing, you modify the models, then define the structure of the, the table structure that you define, then relationship within this database, within that, within those tables, and then show that, like create the conceptual model, then the logical data model, and then physical data model. All of this is what you can basically create using this data modeling. Then data storage and retrieval is what efficient mechanism for storing the data and executing queries to retrieve it quickly. So data storage and retrieval, how it is being done or carried out by SQL Server. There are tables, views, right? All of these are like built-in objects of the SQL Server. So those are being used for this usage purpose. Then the concurrency control. SQL Server ensures multiple users can access the database simultaneously without any conflicts. Then data integrity and security, like enforces rules, like SQL Server enforce the rules to maintain the accurate and secure data, including the access control and encryption, like a row level security, if you want to say, those kind of things that it can maintain or manage. Then backup and recovery. So very important thing, like in the case when you have some data corruption or something, then recovery becomes the handy sometimes in the production or in the lower environments. Protects the data with regular backups and enables recovery in case of the system failures. Right? So that's it for this module.